Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, September 21st. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about the tool of charts and how they can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Real quick, a couple of clarification points. Number one, the price you see here will be moving around, and the candlestick right there will be moving around. That is because the market is still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, AMPX, had a very, very explosive move today when you think about the fact that it started off down here right around the $7 mark and went up as high as 14. So a very, very impressive move in a very small amount of time, again, considering this all happened in the same exact day. So in other words, got to think that there's going to be a lot of people watching this one headed into Wednesday. And I think a lot of people have drawn that trend line right there, which puts the breakout point essentially at the $14 mark. Now, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to imply that this is a great discovery. I think a lot of people have mapped out this area. And I say all that because when a lot of people have mapped out the same area and are watching and wondering the same things, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So while there is no such thing as a guarantee, is it plausible? Is it valid to think that if the price can recover back up to that area and then get the push up through it, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a more than valid thought process to have. As far as areas of support are concerned, if this pullback does continue, very interesting level right there at $9.50. But in my opinion, at least, the very, very interesting dynamic about this one is that $14 mark and that red trend line. So let's see if the price can get up there and push through it. Next one here, ticker symbol F for Ford, and very, very brutal day on this one with the news that came out. Opening 30 minutes, you can see after the gap down, huge red candle, little miniature bounce, and then just a grind. And now it's trying to go sideways here, but what I like about this one, it is Ford, so relatively popular stock, but there's just this well-defined trend line right there, which is essentially illustrating the fact that this thing was just getting beat up in a hurry. And as I speak right now, you can see that the price is sitting right here at that trend line, which brings up a very interesting situation. And that's what a watch list is, identifying unique and interesting situations and not randomly rushing out and buying anything, but watching and seeing how the price behaves and if it does behave in a way that ultimately does fit your personal risk tolerance and strategy. So in this situation, what is the interesting dynamic? Well, the fact that it's getting, doing battle right there at that trend line. Now, does it, could it potentially get rejected right back down? Yeah, that's absolutely. But it's also a two-sided coin because maybe, just maybe, this thing breaks up through it and then goes on a very worthwhile bounce. That's also a very realistic possibility. Nobody knows what will happen, but the underlying and key dynamic here is that the fact that the price is doing battle with a nice trend line does bring about a worthwhile situation that's worth at least keeping an eye on. So if you like to play potential dead cat bounces and quick turnarounds, then I definitely keep an eye on Ford for Wednesday. Next one, VRAX, and going back to that whole idea of self-fulfilling prophecies, we have that here. So again, not trying to impress anybody. I assure you a lot of people have drawn that trend line right there. So that guarantees nothing, but it does make it valid and plausible to think that if this movement can get up here to that trend line and right around the 375 mark and push up through it, that break, and even if it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy, could very well create quite a bit of upwards buying pressure. So keep an eye on that if you like to play breakouts in terms of levels of support. Then a pretty well-defined level right here at, $3.30. You can see basically three times both there, and there. Generally speaking, price went down there and found some support at that area. So you're going to want to keep an eye on that. But again, in my opinion, I think the most interesting dynamic, the area that most people will be watching is right up around that 375 mark. So let's see if the price can get back up there and then get the push up through it. Next, AMC, and a very, very rough day on this one, not only because it was red, but because the price came down here. And it's not like it crashed down through the area of support, but it's definitely, made some movements down below it, but it's trying to stick up around this area. And when I squeeze this chart down, you can see that is now beginning to put the price down at areas that has not been seen for several weeks now. And at this point, I need to now go ahead and adjust this area of support, as it's looking like the next key level to watch is going to be right down there at $8.50. And $8.50 is very, very important because, and I'm not saying this will occur, but just for explanation's sake, if the price were to go to $8.50 and then push down through there, what would that be doing to the price? Well, that's quite literally putting the price essentially right back inside of this range where it was before the big bounce right there happened. I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that go back to where they were after a big movement not exactly sign of true, genuine strength. So once more, I'm not saying the price is headed down and going to break 850. I'm just explaining why 850 is such an important level. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, if there are any attempted bounces back in the upwards direction, you'll want to keep a close eye on that pink line there, the 200 period moving average, currently valued at $9.11. So keep a close eye on that. But yeah, as of now, pretty rough day. Next one, ticker symbol AVCT. Been tracking this one on a very routine basis, and this level up here around 23.5 cents, still being a very, very stubborn level. Problem is, it's one of those levels now where it's not necessarily the price can't get above it, it's staying up above it, because you can see right there, price got above it. Right there, price got above it. Well, right there, price got above it. But each and every time, the price gets above it and then just drops right back below it. So it's a very tricky level. Because it's easier if prices just can't get above a certain level. But there's nothing worse than a fake breakout. And this one has had several fake breakouts. So if there are any returns back upwards, 23.5 cents is definitely the area of resistance. But my point here is that even if the price does get above it, I'd still be relatively skeptical, because as of now, there is a track record of it being fake breakouts. So you have to keep that in mind. As far as levels of support, if this thing continues to pull back, then the level that you're going to want to watch very closely is that purple line there, the 50 period moving average. So keep an eye on that. But yes, overall, the volume is remaining strong, getting some good volatility, but no doubt about it, that 23.5 cent mark is certainly a very tricky level. Real quick, I wanted to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online training that I'm offering here very soon later on in the week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used, and why it's just so powerful in terms of building consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for this free live event. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Next one here, TELL, and I should have put this one right after the Ford one, because same general idea here, although this one is not nearly as popular as Ford, but same general premise. You have a very well-defined trend line right there, and then as I speak, you can see that the interesting dynamic here is that the price is doing battle with that trend line. So I'm not going to repeat myself with everything I said on the Ford setup, because everything remains true, but just realize that this is an interesting dynamic. In the last 30 minutes here, you can see volume is kicking into gear. So is this thing getting ready for a bigger move to the upside? Very possible, but maybe it's getting ready to roll back over. But again, this is all about what happens with that trend line. And the other big difference here is that this one is down below $5, whereas Ford was a bit more expensive. So same general premise of the setup, but just gives you a little bit more flexibility in terms of what sort of price range you prefer to try to trade. So like I said, if you need to scroll back and watch what I had to say about Ford, because the same exact idea applies here. Next one, MGAM, and this one is got a lot of people disappointed. There's no doubt about that, because during this 30-minute session in the afternoon, big breakout, and then you can see the next two 30-minute candles. The price has essentially wiped away those gains. But with that being said, the price has not violated this very important level of support, which so far so good has held, that being the pink line there, the 200 period moving average, currently valued at 285. So this one is no longer a breakout play, because a breakout occurred and it failed, but it is a pullback play, meaning if you like to buy pullbacks to areas of support that have a track record of holding, then this one could provide a good opportunity to structure a trade plan around there. So for those people that, like I said, like to play those sorts of setups where you get in the pullback and you're looking to buy at areas of support, then this one definitely fits all that criteria. Next one, ticker symbol BLUE. Very, very nice move today, and in doing so has created a nice pattern, and you have, we'll just call it the nice self-fulfilling prophecy point. So again, a lot of people have drawn that trend line right there, but within the trend line, there's actually just a very clean pattern here. So we have and I'll just keep it one color to keep it easier to see. We have our resistance, we have that support. So a bit of a slight downwards channel, but we have this big momentum move right here, and this would be known as the bull flag pattern. So if you like to play bull flag patterns, you like to play stocks down below the $10 mark, here you go. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and pretty, you could throw this one right into a textbook, because, and this will mean a bit more to those of you that watched the previous videos, but I talked about that line right there being a resistance, and you can see that today when the price broke through it, very, very nice move. Unfortunately, it rolled back over, fell back below that area, came all the way down there, and bounced for the second time off of that green line. And I understand if you don't think I just put those green lines there, but all you got to do is go back in the archive and you can watch the video from previously, and you'll see I put these lines there already. But again, I'm not patting myself on the back. I am patting charts on the back. So quick plug, get signed up for the free training. But you can see right there, bounced off of the line that I'd put in there before today even started, and then came back up there, and wouldn't you know it, once again got rejected at that level before pulling back down. So in all actuality, nothing has changed from yesterday's video. The same levels are still pertaining. So 305.50, still the level of support. That resistance trend line right there, still the level of resistance. Now, it was nice that it was weakened up today when the price broke above it, but because the price fell back below it, it would still need to be considered an area of resistance. So yeah, all in all, the same levels that pertained yesterday still pertain going into Wednesday. Next one here, SQQQ, which is an ETF and is a way to make money if you believe that the NASDAQ is going to go down. So if you think that ticker symbol QQQ is going to drop, then this one is going to go up, which as it's been dropping, that's why this one has made some good high moves. But as of now, very, very solid pattern is now officially in play. So I'm going to go ahead and manipulate this a little bit now that we have more data. In fact, let me squeeze this down. There we go. And get this level of support in play. And change that to green to represent more so a support dynamic. And then I will just make it all the same color here. So as far as the overall markets are concerned and the NASDAQ, we have the resistance, we have the support, we have the big upwards move right there. So bull pennant, bull flag, whatever you want to call it. The main dynamic here is that I think a lot of people are still expecting the NASDAQ to fall further, and this pattern has a lot to do with it, because if this thing does come up and get through there, then that, again, is implying that the NASDAQ itself is actually going down lower and lower. So bullish pattern here on this one, and we'll see if this bullish pattern can lead to further upwards movement. But again, just because something's bullish does not mean the price is for sure going to go up. But overall, a very popular ETF to watch, gets lots and lots of volume every single day. So if you like to play highly liquid situations and you like to play bull pennant, bull flag setups, then I definitely keep an eye on this one. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool, then certainly get signed up for the free training. Like I said, it'll be later on this week, Thursday, September 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to make this content, please do two things for me. Real quick, hit that like button, leave a simple comment. Tell me what you traded today. Tell me what you're watching for tomorrow. But by hitting the like button, leaving that simple comment, goes a long way, helps the channel out, and I really do appreciate it. So again, get signed up for the free training in a couple of days. Everybody, thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good one.